Thank you. So, AJ, do you think that Joshua from London 9 years ago would have win over Usyk right now, or it's impossible?
Impossible. Impossible.
Everything has changed?
Yeah, many things have changed in my life. Usyk was even maybe his best 8 years ago. This was the time he was in the WSB. He was doing very well, very good, skilled boxer. For me, I was just coming off the Olympics, very fresh, very new, needing a lot of experience, needed a lot of training. So 8 years ago, I have raw talent, heart, some brains, but now I've developed my brain stronger, my heart stronger, my boxing IQ is better. So yeah, I have, even me now, I would beat the Joshua years ago.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. Hi, AJ. This is Peter from Poland. I appreciate your time being with us right here. I know you have a busy schedule. To the point, I saw how you developed as a fighter. I was in New York. I was also in Riyadh. So I know the difference between you in New York and you in Riyadh. But the question is, when you're preparing for the fight, are you taking an active role when you talk to your trainer about giving the trainer the points? You watch the fights of your opponents. Some of the fighters, even world champion fighters I spoke with, they don't even watch the other guy. They just trust the trainer. Or some other guys are saying, no matter what the other guy will do, the most important part is whatever I will do. What is your approach to preparing for fights, and especially for Oleksandr Usyk?
It's a great question. Great question. And it's all around, because like the great Bruce Lee says, there is no opponent. So in a way, it's like my coaches, they just train me. They look at my balance. They look at my hand positioning. They look at my head movement. They look at my creative rhythm in the shoulders, loose. So this is so much for me. That's nothing to do with the opponent. But then there's also a strategic element that we need to do, i.e., if I'm fighting a southpaw, I can't spar orthodox. So we have to also focus on the opponent. So I bring in guys that can mimic my opponent. So it's actually a good balance of all for me. There is no opponent. Even in the fight, I'm not worried about what my opponent's doing. I'm focusing on myself. And then in the preparation, there is a strategic element, but I also get involved in the training because I'm very passionate. I have to. I study. I do a lot of research. So I speak with my coaches. And yeah, that's just where I'm at with boxing at the minute. We all work together. They understand my character. I don't control my training, but I'll definitely ask my coaches certain suggestions and certain piece of information as to why are we doing what we're doing, because I researched this person and this didn't work for this heavyweight years ago. This works for them in this generation. So we have great conversations. Sometimes we spend like an hour in the gym after just talking about psychological warfare, physical preparation, etc., etc.
A quick one. When you mentioned Usyk, you added, I'm not sure it was tongue in cheek or by design, he was a great fighter as a cruiserweight. There is a distinction. Some of the guys are saying, I even said it to Oleksandr, I'm going to repeat it on Monday. We are on a call with him on Monday, that I don't believe he has a power to beat the best cruiserweights, two best heavyweights in the world. I said it when he fought in Chicago for the first time.
Witherspoon.
Yes, and you know, he wasn't too happy about my question, but I said you will be great heavyweight. But there's a big difference between being a great heavyweight and being a world champion. Are you perceiving his biggest strengths are the movement, the foot and hand speed, but you're not saying, okay, the power, maybe not so?
It's a great way of looking at it. So when we look at Oleksandr Usyk, we have to look at his ability boxing-wise, which all of us have at the top level. And as you know, at heavyweight, not only do you have to be good, you have to be a killer in that ring. And this is like, you have to knock your opponent, because we can take punishment more than these smaller guys. You know, we're used to big punches, boom, boom, boom. Like every day I'm getting hit by guys 18 stone. So I build up a certain resilience in my body. And it is true, will the cruiserweight be able to damage me because I've been used to big guys hitting me for so long. Now, the only time in the heavyweight division his success will come to fruition, these heavyweights are lazy. Will they have the stamina to go? He will be lighter, so he'll have more stamina. He can move good for 12 rounds. The big guy looking for power, you know, will he fatigue himself in the later rounds? So that's the only advantage you'll have. So a good fighter who's well-conditioned, dedicated, understands the tactics, can fight 12 rounds, will give him a good fight and potentially beat him, in my opinion. And if he has a lot of heart and passion, it'll be a great fight, which is what we're going to have on September 25th.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay, so I will keep it short and sweet. Anthony, I think that Usyk lives by your motto in a way, because he's less talk and more action. He's all action because he's a road warrior with a proven track record. And I wanted to ask you, which one of his wins is the most impressive to you?
Okay, this is a great question. Yeah, he is. Less talk, more action. I respect it. I like guys like Usyk. You know, they come to fight. Even though people say, Anthony, it's a good fight for you. You're taking on the undisputed cruiserweight champion. Usyk is taking on a big challenge as well. So less talk and he's more action. In this day and age, it's more talk and less action. So we're doing more action. For me, one of his best performances, I really liked when I watched Magomed Medzadov maybe 6 to 8 years ago in the WSB. I fought Magomed Medzadov in the WSB. Very strong puncher. He gave me a standing count. He gave Usyk a standing count with a body shot. But Usyk done very well. I like the skills a lot. So yeah, that was one of his best performances for me. What country are you from?
Poland.
Okay, so do you know much? What country is Marius Briedis from?
He's from Latvia. That's like okay. our neighbor, yeah. But
so he fought. Is it Glowacki? He fought from Poland.
Yeah.
What did Glowacki say about him?
Oh, that was a horrid fight because of the elbow. But Usyk's career started.
What happened with the elbow?
He got elbowed after like a soft punch to the back of the head from Glowacki. There was all the back and forth action, but the fight ended. It was a mess, basically. But Usyk's career started against Glowacki also in Poland 5 years ago. That was his first championship fight. And if I can ask one more short question, do you feel that he's probably the best cruiserweight in the history of the division? Because only 2 guys in the history were able to become undisputed.
I agree. But Evander Holyfield is number 1.
Yeah, that's a first statement.
Evander Holyfield, yeah, he has a long way to go, you know, but he has potential. But Evander Holyfield is number 1.
Okay, guys, thank you. Anthony's got to go. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.